Well, good morning, and welcome to the Saturday Morning Power Breakfast. My name is Tony Stewart, and I'm representing Tony and Angie Stewart. And I am excited today about getting with you and talking to you a little bit about what to do when your plans don't work out. You know, Tony and Angie Stewart, we are all about helping you get to the next level. And what we've done here, I've been helping people make additional income from home since 1990. My goal is to help you get to the point where you have choices in your life. Over those years, it's over 30 years now, can you believe it? I've learned so many different things and invested in so much education, had so many life experiences to help get additional income coming into your home from home. And my goal here today is to give you the benefit of that knowledge, help you get to the next level, help you move on, help you move forward. So pull up a bagel, pull up your orange juice, come and sit back, and just over the next few minutes, let's talk about some things. Let's have a power talk about some things that will help you get to that next level. So the goal here is helping you get into the 5% club. And I always want to mention this because I always want to put it in perspective. You know, there's what's called the 40-year plan for most folks. And it says that for every 100 people who reach the age of 65, 62% are dead broke. And we see that. We see folks who get to a certain age, and as they get older, instead of being happy about getting older and the fact that they're going to be freed up to do more things, they start getting a little bit fearful. Why? Because retirement is not a function of age. It's a function of money. And if you see yourself getting to that age where you're hitting retirement, but you know you don't have enough put away, that's a scary feeling. Now, 28% don't have that feeling at all because they're dead. 5% are still working, and we see that. You might go to Walmart and see a greeter there. You might go to a fast food restaurant and see someone who's older than high school age who is sitting behind that counter taking your order, or standing behind that counter taking your order. Well, my goal for you, my friend, whether you've reached the age of 65 or not, is to help you be in the 5% club, where you're either wealthy or financially stable. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being financially stable? And what I mean by financially stable, let's define that a little bit. Having less month than money. Having the ability to have choices. Having an emergency fund put together so that if something happens, you can handle it. Being able to give as you want to give. Being able to take vacations that you might want to take. That's what financially stable is about. And you deserve that, my friend. How about being wealthy and being able to affect change? Being able to have that influence. It's there for you. Don't look at folks in the 5% club if you're not there and think that they're doing something you can't do. I want to encourage you with the fact that, yes, my friend, you can do it. And today we're going to talk about some strategies that will help you along the way with that. So let's dig into it. Today's dishes, if you will, Saturday morning power breakfast. Today's dishes is number one, we're going to be talking about the 3 types of goals. Then we're going to be talking about, and this is something that a lot of people get confused, the difference between a goal and a plan. And I'm telling you, if you don't know the difference, it can really mess you up as you're working to get yourself into that 5% club. Number 3, steps to take when your plans don't work out. Now you may say, Tony, you're always so positive. Why are you talking about something negative? What happens when your plans don't work out? Don't you set up a plan and then you just get into it and you gut it out and it always works? Well, I'm going to challenge that. And I'm telling you, there are some tangible steps to take when your plans don't work out. And this is going to be a shocker for you. So anyway, let's dig in, shall we? What are the 3 types of goals? Well, I love was something that Bob Proctor, who rest his soul, he's someone that Angie and I got to know right before he passed away. Angie actually had him on speed dial. Angie could go and she did. I remember one time over the holidays. And this is within the last few years. She had a question about something, and she's like, I should ask Bob. And she got her phone and she texted Bob and she said, it was during the holidays, so she just kind of wanted to get on his calendar and she said, hey Bob, I got this question for you. I'm having this challenge. I'd like to get your ideas on it. And Bob texted back, well, let's talk now. She's like, what? All right. And so she goes up into her home office and her and Bob have this conversation. I think they're talking like for over a half hour, just going back and forth about stuff. And she came out, and of course, Bob had given her good advice that she was able to apply. And we both remarked at how cool is this guy who had years and years of experience, who was really a game changer in the mindset, in really the whole personal development industry, would take out some time and spend it with us to help us get to the next level. So we appreciate you, Bob. And one of the things that Bob taught us was about the 3 types of goals. He talked about what's called A-type goals. And A-type goals are those things that you already know how to do. And a good example of this is, if you're driving a certain type of car, this is the one he used. If you're driving a certain type of car, let's say you're driving a Chevy, I don't know, you get the point. You're driving a Chevrolet, and you decided you want to get another Chevrolet. Well, is that a real big goal? No, because you already know how to get a Chevrolet. You have one now. But some people call that a goal. I'm making a goal to get a new version of the same car I already have. Well, that's an A-type goal. To make a goal to do something, I have a goal to get the dishes done. Well, you know how to do that. It's just a matter of doing it. That's an A-type goal. A B-type goal is something that you think you can do. Like if I was said I want to go from Columbus, Ohio to Detroit. Well, I think I can do that. Now, there might be a number of different ways I can do it, but I think I can do that because I can get a map, I can find out how to get there. Maybe I've never been there before, but I have a confidence level with today's technology, GPS technology, and so forth, that I can set a course and follow that course and get there. Even though I've never done that before, perhaps, I could still do that. But it's the C-type goals. And it's the C-type goals that Bob always encouraged people to take advantage of and to set. And those are the goals you set where it's like a fantasy. You know you want it, but you don't know how you're going to get it. You have no idea. And those are the goals that push you outside your comfort zone. And many people will tell you that their success is only found outside your comfort zone. So you set this C-type goal, and you're saying, man, I would love to get to that point, but I have no idea how to get there. That's the type of goal you should set. In each area of your life, what would be your fantasy if time and money was no object? If you knew you could not fail, what would be your goal? That's a C-type goal, regardless of whether you think you can do it, based on your current knowledge, regardless of whether you've already done it before. No, it's not those B and A-type goals. No, we're talking about a C-type goal. What you would want if you could wave a crystal wand, or if you had a genie giving you 3 wishes or whatever, what would be that thing you want? Set that as a goal. So then, what is the difference between a goal and a plan then? Well, as you can see here, when you have that goal will help you develop an initial plan. And I say initial because that plan, as we'll be talking about, might not be the ultimate plan that gets you to your goal. But you set an initial plan. Now, how do you do that? Well, you do that because you do something called looking for clues. You know, Tony Robbins always talks about the fact that success leaves clues. What does that mean? That if you can do things like see what other people have done to get to the goal that you have, this new C-type goal, if there's someone out there who's done something like that, then you can, especially in this day and age, you can find out what they did to make that happen, by and large. You could Google it, find if there's a bibliography or a biography or something that really kind of goes up. I said bibliography. If there's a biography or autobiography that goes into what they've done, you can look at their story. You know, Peter J. Daniels, who's a billionaire out of Australia, he's known to say that one of the keys to success is studying biographies, learning from the things that people did well and the mistakes that other people made, so that you can take advantage of the things they did well and avoid the things they didn't do well, is a success secret. So you look at these folks and you find out what they did. You know, sometimes they may have a course or a book that you can read. And in that course or book, you find out exactly what they did to make that success happen. Well, now you can start implementing that. You can start making a plan around that. And then, of course, plans are only so good as the action you take. So that's the relationship. And sometimes people make a mistake and they think a goal and a plan is the same thing. A goal is the ultimate place you want to be. You remember we talked about success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or dream. That worthy goal or dream is your top level there. But it's the plan and taking action on that plan, even small action, even action so small as listening to me this morning. That's what makes you a success, because you're doing things that will lead to that goal. Now, before I go into what do you do if that plan doesn't work out, and let me say this before I move on. Your goals should be something that are set in stone, but your plans should be set in sand. And what I mean by that is, if a plan doesn't work out, my encouragement to you is not to give up on the goal, but to find a different plan. I remember years ago going to a Tony Robbins event, and it was one of those events where you may have heard of these before, where you walk across the hot coals and you do all these different things. And one of the things he said in that seminar was that someone who's achieving mastery will have a goal, and if that goal doesn't work, they will go up, if they run to a brick wall trying to get to that goal, they will figure out a way to go around it, over it, or under it, but they won't give up. So I encourage you, as you have those goals, whether those plans work out or not, find a way around it. Now, you might say, well, that sounds real good, but how exactly do you do that? Well, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But before I do, I want to remind you about an offer that we have, and that's for a tool, a course called the Octagon Method. And the great thing about the Octagon Method, I've been getting comments about the Octagon Method, comments like, why is this free? This is great. This is something that everyone should have their hands on. And I agree. So if you go to the octagonmethod.com, you can get a hold of it. It's a multi-course that you can get immediate access to, and it gives you modules that will help you create additional income in cracks of time. That's what it's really about, helping you get to additional income in cracks of time. So I encourage you to go there, take advantage of it, theoctagonmethod.com. So now let's talk about what to do if your plans don't work out. And I'm going to give you a tangible example about this. There's a gentleman by the name of Eric Worre. And Eric Worre, I saw a seminar by him, and he was talking about his weight loss journey. Now, Eric is, he's a little bigger guy, if you will. And he, like I, said, we got to do something about this, especially as we're getting older. Our health becomes even more important, and we want to take good care of ourselves. Well, Eric, like myself, have tried a bunch of different things to lose weight. And it's funny because, you can have business success, but that doesn't mean that you have success in every area of your life. And Eric was frustrated because he wasn't getting the success he wanted in terms of his physique. So he tried all kinds of different diets and exercise programs and so forth, and he finally reached threshold and said, enough's enough. So he went and got a team of people together and said, listen, we're going to fix this up. We're going to fine-tune my diet. We're going to fine-tune my exercise. We're going to do what it takes to get myself into better shape. And he said this to, not only to his family and so forth, but he said it on a stage to a bunch of folks and really created an accountability in doing so. One of the things that he did that he hadn't done before is something called a DEXA scan. Now, if you see that picture on the right there, that's a person getting a DEXA scan. And basically what a DEXA scan does is that it's like an x-ray, but it goes across your entire body and it measures everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. It goes and it measures your body fat percentage. It measures how much muscle you have, how much fat you have. It measures your weight, and it does it with like acute accuracy. All right? So he did that, and he found out that there was a disparity, because what happened was, in the past, he'd adjust his diet, adjust his exercise, then he'd go to the scale, and the scale hadn't moved that much. And he'd do some more diet work and exercise work, and the scale didn't move that much. And what ended up happening is the same thing, and I'm telling you the story about Eric, but it's my story as well. You get to a point where you get frustrated, because it's like, I'm doing all this, and it doesn't seem to be working. And you start having these thoughts of, maybe it's because I'm older, maybe I'm doing the wrong kind of thing, blah, 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 blah. Well, he finally did this DEXA scan thing, and he found out that it was working. He found out that even if the scale wasn't working like it was supposed to be, he looked at what was happening in terms of his body fat percentage. And my friends, if you lose 7 pounds of fat, but you gain 7 pounds of muscle, guess what the scale does? Nothing. But did you do better? Are you healthier? Absolutely. But you see, without good information, sometimes you don't even know if your plan's working or not. 5 months ago, after hearing Eric's story, Angie and I decided to go get our test done. So we went and we laid across the thing, let the thing go across us, and it doesn't hurt anything like that. But we went and did it. And after that, we committed to an exercise program. We committed to fine-tuning our diet, and we'll talk about that more maybe in another power breakfast. But we fine-tuned those things. And just this week, 5 months later, we went and had our second one done. And Angie's story was just what I'm telling you. In the last 5 months, she actually gained, even though the scale didn't move as much, she actually gained 7 pounds of muscle. And for a lady to gain 7 pounds of muscle in 5 months, I don't know if you guys know that, but that's a big deal. So that was great, and I'm so proud of her. And I was right next to her when she was working out, and I saw the work that went into it. The scale didn't have the final story, though. And it was by getting the correct feedback that she got the knowledge of what was going on there. So I get on there, and I get off of there, and the technician kind of looks at me, looks at the scores, looks at me, looks at the scores, and she says, and again, let me preface this by saying, our scale at home hadn't done all I wanted it to do. Some of the movements weren't what I wanted. But she told me that over the last 5 months, I have released over 50 pounds. Over 50 pounds, my friend. Had I not gone to get that better feedback, that more accurate feedback, I would have given up. Because the stuff I see on the scale made me think that my plan wasn't working. But in fact, it was. I just didn't have the right feedback. I didn't have the right information. And once I got that information, man, it made all the difference. So the first thing I want to tell you about what to do when your plan does not work. Oh, I said do not work. What to do when your plan do not work. That's terrible. It does not work. It should be not do not work. But the first thing you should do is make sure you're getting the right feedback. Make sure you're getting the right feedback. All right. Once you have that feedback, it goes back to this plan, do, check, and adjust cycle. PDCA it. What I mean by that is you had a plan. You did the work. You checked your results. And again, you checked them with accuracy. Then you can make adjustments. My friend, do not give up on your goals. Man, it really bugs me. I said plan and not plans. But anyway, forgive me for that. Plan, do, check, and adjust. Make sure you go through that cycle. And just like my slide here, be willing to do it ugly before you do it pretty. Be willing to know that you may not do it perfectly at first. But by going through this plan, do, check, and adjust, you plan to do this. I'm going to eat like this. I'm going to work out like that. You do it. You actually get up. You exercise mind over mattress. And you do the thing that you plan to do. You check your results. And my goodness, either find a good scale, find some way to really give you the correct feedback. I'm going to stay with this analogy. And then, and only then, you make some adjustments. And what those adjustments do is those adjustments create a new plan, which you do. And you check your results and you adjust. And you can get anything through this. But what I'm going to encourage you, keep your goals. Protect your goals. Let your plans be what changes. And what I mean by changes is most of the times it's not a matter of just totally throwing your plan out the window. It's what are those distinctions that you get from learning from those success that leaves clues? What are those distinctions that you can implement that'll make your plan better? Do that. It'll make all the difference in the world for you. So before I go, I want to remind you, go to the octagonmethod.com. Check out the information there. Let it be something that you can put into your daily method of operation so you can get into the 5% club. My friend, you are worth it. I'm excited for you to have your plans that line up with your goals that you can take action on. If you're looking to make additional income and you want to do it in cracks of time, what I mean by cracks of time, additional income that you can do without it interrupting what you're currently already doing. That's what gets you into the 5% club. You can do it, my friend. Go to octagonmethod.com. Check it out. Make this week a masterpiece. And I'll be back next week with more things that can help you get into the 5% club. Be blessed. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.